Welcome back to our home build series. This will be episode 4. And so far they've put in the driveway, they've leveled the ground where the house will go, they've put in the footings and the frost walls, and now this week they're moving sand from other locations on the building site to backfill around those walls. Unfortunately, the dirt that they moved from where the walls are now was mostly clay, so they have to dig in other locations to find sand to fill around the house. We had thought about asking them to dig down from where the house is, where we intend to put a pond someday, but that just isn't gonna work. There's sand closer to the house, and also we want to spend more time actually in the house to know how things lay out and where the view of a pond would look best, so we're gonna wait on that. So it looks like they were able to get most of the sand to use for fill from up like right by the house, which is nice. And they were able to clear the spot to the, if you're facing towards the house, be to the east or to the right side of the house. They cleared out a spot that we will probably use someday for Justin's parents to pull down their camper and stay at our house. And I see that there are more black raspberries and raspberries that are ripe, so I'm gonna pick some of those before I leave. Alright, so this is the end of their first week of framing, and they've got the sidewall for the garage up. You can see that we have a 16-foot sidewall on that side of the garage. And then they framed up the entire exterior of the house. So if you remember the first video that we made for this series, back here is the power box, and this was all brush. So this is all cleared out now. This is where the garage will be. Next week they're gonna work on framing out the rest of the garage. And then there's the house. Looks like we had some raccoons on the job site. Little buggers. Over here is the front of the house, and then that'll be our front door. And we've got a couple other windows framed out there. This again is the front of the house with these larger windows, and you can see where it's prepped for our covered porch to go here. So this is gonna be like, I forget if it's 6 or 8 feet of covered porch, like overhanging, and we're gonna do, I think, stamped concrete out here. And we haven't decided if we're gonna do stamped or just stained and polished concrete on the inside of the house. But we're not doing any flooring, we're just leaving it with the concrete. This is our front yard, pretty steep down here, so I'm not sure. I think we're probably gonna level this out a little bit, but I'm very much looking forward to not having a big front yard because I'm so sick of mowing the yard that we currently have. Now over on this far end of the house, that's kind of where the kitchen will be, and the we'll have a sliding glass door out the other side of the house there. And then this is the garage. We're gonna have 2 14-foot height garage doors on this end, and then a couple of windows out this end. And on this end, we're also gonna have a mezzanine, so an area up there where we can store some stuff, mostly like hunting totes and stuff like that. So the next few things that will happen here on the job site are they're going to put up the roof trusses, put the roof on, and then our HVAC and plumbing will come in and do the in-floor heat and the plumbing locations, and then they will pour the floor. So one of the major things that we need to decide on very soon is how we want the interior floors finished, because they are going to put up the trusses and the roof, and once that's covered, then they're going to come in and pour the floor, and we need to know what we want for the floor. We're kind of torn between whether we want that that stained and polished concrete, or if we want it to be textured. I would prefer it to be textured, but we're gonna look at the numbers and see if that works out. And then Justin's not sure if he wants it textured or not for sure. But I like the look of the texture. I think it would hide blemishes a little bit better and not be so like shiny. So I think I would like that better, but we'll see what we decide there. In the past 3 or 4 days, they've made a ton of progress on framing. Next week, they're gonna finish framing out the garage, and I'm not sure if maybe they might even bring in those roof trusses next week. Not positive on that, but that's where we're at with our house so far. Also, one of our apple trees, the apples are already ripe on it, so I might go pick some of those today. This little piece of land has a ton of apple trees on it, and this one in particular is already ripe, so I figured since we're here, I'm gonna pick some of these apples and see if I can make maybe some applesauce or something out of them. We think that there's so many apple trees on this little piece because it was cow pasture for many, many, many years, and maybe the cows were eating some apples, and then when they pooped them out, they ended up dispersed all over this piece. But it's really cool to find all these little pockets of apple trees. That's enough apples for today.